Hey everybody, I'm not great, and today I thought I'd show you what I do whenever I'm working myself to death on the weekends. What we've got here is an Eaton BR style electrical panel, and what I'm going to be doing, what I've already done a little bit of, is change out some faulty breakers. Now these breakers, usually whenever you see one kind of like this guy right here, this blue one, it'll be missing, let's see, where is my, there we go. It'll be missing these two little indicators right here, and that'll indicate that it's an older style breaker. This one is not an older style breaker, but it's one that I just replaced. There were no older style breakers in this panel, but several of the arc fault breakers and one of the dual function breakers, yeah, that guy right there, we're having trouble with their testing. So we are replacing them today. Eaton supplied the replacements for free. They're generally very good about that. If you have a breaker that goes bad, they will happily and for free send you a replacement. You can see some of these breakers have little dots next to their handles. That's something that I've done to mark the ones that I have replaced already. And you can see I'm already 1, 2, 3, 4 breakers in, and I've got 3 to go. So see you in a second. All right, so we've got this bundle of 3 here that I'm going to be working on. See if I can do this one-handed. The panel is live, but these breakers are dead. So first thing that we're gonna do is loosen up our terminals. They can get kind of tight and they can get locked down, unfortunately. So you have to torque it a little bit. For doing this, I recommend a square driver instead of a Phillips or a flathead or anything else really. I find that those strip things out the least whenever you're trying to work with something that could be, gunked up, or the initial installer decided to use a drill to tighten down the lugs, which, don't do that. Stop using power tools on things you shouldn't be using power tools on. There's our other one right there. It turns screws into single-use fasteners, and it's just a bad idea. So we're going to pop this guy, there we go, we're going to pop this guy off. This is my first time recording this, and learning how to do it one-handed is a kind of a pain. So you see, we've got a little bit of a rat's nest going on over here, and whenever installers do this, it drives me up the wall. I'm going to trace this white neutral tail back to wherever it is on the neutral panel and get that off of its lug someplace over here. They bundled them all together too towards the bottom when you've got all this free space at the top on that neutral bar. And that's another stop it. Straighten them out, don't tangle them up. Start at the top and work your way down instead of working your way up from the bottom, and that way you get less congestion. You can stretch your wires out a little bit. I'm going to take care of that because I need 2 hands to do it, and we'll be back for the next step. All right, here we are. I pulled our neutral wire up from the new breaker, which is now blue, I'll explain that in a second, to its termination point as high up on the panel as I can get it. We're going to lock that down. Just like that. You don't want to over torque it. You'll end up damaging your conductors, especially when they're stranded, like around these tails. Let's see, switch hands. There it is. So it is, there we go. This guy right here, give it a little tug test. Make sure everything's good. And we're going to come down here and terminate. Now you'll notice this guy is blue and not green. That means that it is a dual function breaker and not just an arc fault breaker. Oop. Trying to aim through a camera is tricky. Let's see, there we go, should be good. That is because Eaton did not send me enough arc fault breakers, and this is a circuit that I am safe saying will not have any nuisance tripping because I've increased the amount of protection that is on it. So we're going to, you saw I loosened up the terminals. Get away from there, thank you. The white, in this case, goes where the white dot is. They also line up with the white neutral tail. There we go. Again, using my insulated square driver. Not super torquing it, but also not leaving it loose. And again, tug test, everything's good. We'll do the hot wire next. Now, whoever initially wired up this panel did not leave very much slack on the wires for the branch circuits. That's fine, we're working with it. But I don't know, this is a point of contention, but I say leave the next guy a little bit of slack to work with. You know, in case the breaker shrinks or it has to be relocated slightly to make room for something at the top of the panel, like an EV charger or generator inlet. Yeah. I'm going to mark this guy as done. You can see we are tug test, we're all good. Turn it off, turn it on. Oh, what have we got here? Interesting. Well, I'm going to troubleshoot that, and we'll be back in a minute. All right, so I traced out the circuit a little bit. It is a dedicated lighting circuit, which means that there's probably a ground fault somewhere, possibly in a switch or something. Unfortunately, I'm not being paid to look into that. So swapped it out with an arc fault breaker. Arc fault breaker, on, test, off, back on. Got it marked as being done. There's a ground fault someplace. I'll talk to the customer about, do they want me to fix it or not? But for now, using one of our other arc fault breakers, we've got one more arc fault, and then we've got that dual function over there. Got it working now. And yeah, that's swapping out an arc fault breaker and an Eaton BR panel. So got two more of these to go, and then I also have to do a GFCI. I'm going to get to it. So thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you later.